In this video, we're going to talk about how you build your group in the Harry Potter miniature game. Okay, building groups. So, first thing is you need to make sure you have the same faction. So, for example, these guys are all Hogwarts. There may also be Death Eaters, and some cards have multiple factions. So like this is a fantastic creature and it is a Death Eater. All the cards in your group have to have at least one of these backs that are similar to each other. So we're gonna build some Hogwarts characters. And so in the core box we get Harry, Hermione, and Ron. These guys are all the same characters. So on the character card, this is who they are, model number. And this right here are their main statistics. So we have mastery, defense, and cunning. Mastery, the number of wands up here, this is going to give you automatic successes when you are making spellcasting rolls. We'll talk about that in a later video where we look at core mechanics. The shields are automatic successes when defending. So when Harry casts a spell, he's going to have 2 automatic successes, and when he is the target of combat spell, he's going to get 2 automatic successes. This guy down here, Cunning, is used for several different things. So the value here, the number, is going to both contribute to the power pool. This is a pool building game where everybody's going to contribute to a pool, and then you're going to spend that as energy to do things. So he is going to contribute 2 points. The white circle means that he's going to contribute light magic, and then the cunning value is also going to be added up to determine your team's initiative. He has some traits down here: Apprentice, Chosen One, Gryffindor, Potioneer. We'll talk about that stuff later. He also has some stats up here: Magic, Temper, Courage, Wisdom. These are used for challenges. Talk about that later. And he has an innate spell on his thing, Expecto Patronum, and his the spell stats. So difficulty, that's how many successes you have to get. It has a cooldown, which is how many rounds before you can cast it again. That is the cost in power points, and also the type. So it's going to cost 3 power points. They're going to be light power points. And then it lets you place a Patronus marker within the range, which is 3. And then he has some traits down there. All right, this over here is the important number for building. It is 9 galleons. And this is the point value for when you're building your group. Different people have different point values. So Hermione has an 8, and Ron here has a 7. He is worth the least of the Hogwarts trio. And when you're building your group, you and your partner, or the person you're playing against, will pick a galleon limit, and that is the value to which you will build your group. A standard game is 50 galleons. All right, so right here we only have 24 galleons. So what do you do with the rest of your galleons? Well, that is where you equip spells and potions and artifacts. So spells, each character has a spell book. It's these slots at the bottom. And so Harry can equip 2 spells, Hermione can equip 2 spells, and Ron can only equip 1 spell. And you get a stack of these in the base box, so you have a lot of different options. But when you're building, you want to think about kind of what you're trying to accomplish during the game. For example, you're going to be casting combat spells a lot. Right now, of the innate spells that these characters have, Expecto Patronum is primarily defensive, Counterspell is defensive. Confundo is a combat spell, but it doesn't do any damage. So right now, there's no damage output in the Hogwarts trio. So probably what we're going to do is we're going to come and we're going to get Stupefy, which is a combat spell, and the target will suffer 1 physical damage. And so we're going to equip everybody with Stupefy. All right, because we want to be able to do some damage. And you'll see these guys have galleon costs. So I just increased the galleon cost of my party by 3. Now, Stupefy has a cooldown. So I'm not going to be able to cast it 2 turns in a row. So I might want to get some more combat spells out there, or more spells that are going to assist me. Harry and Hermione both have some more space here. So I think I'm going to do Silencio, which keeps someone from casting a spell in their next activation, and Perfectus Totalis, which will give someone the Petrify status. And so this way, I have some combat-y stuff that I can do on the off turns. Now, since Hermione and Harry are potioneers, that means that they can brew potions for the team, and everybody can equip level 1 potions. So let's go ahead and let's do an invisibility potion for Hermione. And let's give Ron this Polyjuice potion. And they'll be able to use these once during the game. They have their galleon costs. And let's go ahead and fill in some items as well. And so we'll be very thematic. So I got an invisibility cloak. I'm going to give that to Harry. And I got a time turner. I'm going to give that to Hermione. And I have the Deluminator. So we'll say that Dumbledore's left that to Ron. And these also have galleon costs. If you add all this up, I'm somewhere in the 30s. So with the base box, you're not going to be able to get your party up to 50 galleons, but you can certainly equip everybody else so that they would be able to accomplish some things in battle. And that is the basics of group building. One more thing that you want to note is the PowerPoint mechanic. So cunning, you'll see Harry has a 2, Hermione has a 2, and Ron has a 1, so they have a total cunning of 5. This means that their initiative value for every round is going to be a 5. So if they have a higher initiative than their opponents, they will go first. And they're going to get 5 of these light PowerPoints every round. And it's these guys that they will be using to cast their spells. And so you're going to get 5 points to cast on your various spells. And so, for example, like if Harry was going to cast Expecto Patronum and Hermione was going to counterspell, that would be 6 points. You couldn't pay that with 5. Although there is a special rule, since these guys are all apprentices, they get 1 free point, so you could actually do that. But it's something to keep in mind when you're building your party. And also, the way the spells work, this gray background means you can use light magic and or dark magic. None of these guys would be able to equip a spell that was black because they all produce light power points and not black power points. So some things to think about when you're building your party. But that's the basics. If you have any questions, throw them down in the comments below and I'll answer them.